Mark Carney recently made a bold move in Alberta, expecting to push forward his carbon tax agenda, but Premier Danielle Smith had other plans. She responded swiftly and firmly, pushing back against what many in Alberta see as federal overreach. This wasn't just a disagreement over policy, it marked a major turning point in the conversation around provincial rights and energy independence. Smith invoked constitutional powers to block Carney's proposed carbon export tax and sent a clear message to Ottawa: Alberta will not be sidelined in decisions affecting its economy. This wasn't political theater, it was a serious assertion of provincial authority. Carney, a central figure in the Liberal camp and known for his global economic perspectives, came with a vision: climate policy, carbon accountability, and a new tax proposal aimed at exports. But Alberta's leadership and many of its citizens saw the move as a direct threat to their vital oil and gas sector. Instead of finding support, Carney was met with firm resistance and a straightforward no. There were no long-winded debates, no soft compromises, just a clear rejection of policies that Alberta believes would harm its economy. This moment sends a strong message not only to federal leaders but to the rest of the country. Alberta is ready to stand its ground. Whether you support Smith's move or not, it's clear that the province is drawing a line in the sand on federal control over its resources. Let us know what you think. Was this the right call by Premier Smith? And what does it mean for Canada's energy future? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Mark Carney's carbon tax proposal was seen by many in Alberta as a federal attempt to pressure resource-producing provinces into falling in line. But Premier Danielle Smith wasn't having it. Known for standing up for Alberta's energy sector and provincial rights, she took one look at the plan and firmly said no. And it wasn't just words. Smith ended the meeting, shut down the discussion, and showed Carney the door. This wasn't just a disagreement over policy. It was Alberta making it clear decisions affecting the province's resources should be made in Alberta, not in Ottawa. While Carney framed his proposal as a climate measure, many critics saw it as something else entirely. They questioned the real intent, especially given concerns about his financial ties and investments, some reportedly linked to the fossil fuel industry he now seeks to regulate. The bigger issue, however, was the perceived overreach. Carney, who has spent most of his career in financial circles, was telling Alberta's oil and gas workers, many of whom have worked long, difficult hours in extreme conditions, how to run their industry. To Alberta, this felt like a top-down directive that ignored their experience and needs. In response, Smith cited Section 92 of the Constitution, which outlines provincial control over natural resources. Her message was clear: Alberta's resources are Alberta's responsibility. The pushback has shaken any notion that a federal plan could quietly take control of Alberta's energy sector without resistance. As the debate continues, one thing is certain: Alberta is not backing down, and the rest of Canada is watching closely. While Mark Carney was focused on policy from boardrooms and briefing documents, Danielle Smith was out west in cowboy boots, talking face-to-face with Albertans. She met with truckers, oil workers, farmers, the very people who keep Canada's economy running. Without them, Ottawa would lose its power and Toronto its food supply. Smith didn't hold back. She directly challenged what many see as a growing disconnect between central Canada's elite political class and the working Canadians who fuel the country's industries. Her criticism pointed to what she sees as the hypocrisy of leaders like Carney, those who promote aggressive carbon taxation on Alberta's energy sector while benefiting financially from climate funds tied to foreign investors. If Pierre Poilievre has become the voice for a frustrated electorate, then Danielle Smith is its determination and resistance. The debate here isn't just about Alberta, it's about the future direction of Canada. Will the country continue down a path of centralized economic management and top-down energy policy? Or will provinces push back and demand a larger say in how their industries are governed? Smith's message was blunt: Alberta is not an experiment for federal climate agendas. It is a province rich in resources, proud of its identity, and tired of being treated as a source of revenue without a seat at the table. And Alberta isn't alone. Saskatchewan is watching, British Columbia is taking note. Even Ontario, traditionally aligned with federal priorities, is starting to reconsider its stance. The outcome of this standoff could reshape the national conversation around energy, economics, and federalism. As for Mark Carney, the man once hailed as the technocratic solution to Canada's political challenges, his approach in Alberta fell flat. And the political consequences may just be getting started. Danielle Smith walked into that meeting not just as Alberta's premier, but as a leader with a spine and a copy of the Constitution. The result, Mark Carney's carbon tax proposal was firmly rejected. His claim to federal authority was directly challenged. His carefully curated moral credibility took a serious hit. And his supporters were left stunned, unsure how a policy rollout turned into a political disaster. Predictably, the national media circled the wagons. Editorials accused Smith of being divisive. Commentators decried Alberta for breaking national consensus. But here's the reality. Albertans aren't interested in consensus with a political elite that has consistently overlooked their priorities. What they're demanding is something far more foundational: freedom, fairness, and a future not dictated from Parliament Hill or network newsrooms. Smith didn't just say no to a carbon policy. She said yes to Alberta. Yes to the families who rely on resource sector jobs. Yes to rural communities tired of being sacrificed for global climate optics. She stood up and, in doing so, ignited something far bigger than a provincial pushback across Canada. That message is resonating. Pierre Poilievre is amplifying it. Citizens from coast to coast are recognizing that this isn't just about oil and gas, it's about sovereignty, dignity, and the basic right of provinces to chart their own economic path. Mark Carney may still be speaking at international conferences and designing climate strategies from afar, but on the ground, the conversation has shifted. Alberta took a stand and the rest of the country took notice. What happens next? That's not for pundits to decide. It's up to Canadians. Every vote, every conversation, every act of engagement adds fuel to a growing national movement. The era of top-down federal control over the provinces may be drawing to a close. So, stand with Alberta. Stand with leaders who defend their province. And most importantly, stand for a Canada that listens, respects, and protects the voices of all its people. Because the true shift in Canadian politics isn't coming from Ottawa, it's coming from the West, and it's only just begun.